What's up, guys? Nightflux here, coming to you with my machining Megacolony deck profile. We'll get right into this. This is a super aggressive deck. It's super fun. It's not that expensive to build, so that's why I think it is interesting. Start with our starter, no pun intended. We have our machining worker ant. 5K. His ability is when he's placed on a rear guard. You can stand one of your machining Megacolonies. We'll get into the combo play with this later, but he is your starter. He does not get pulled back as soon as the game starts. Combo plays at the end. We do play 6 critical triggers, 3 of the Shelter Beetle, 3 of the Sharpnail Scorpio. You can get away. I think you need at least 6 criticals to make any deck competitive nowadays. But yes, we play 6 crits in this deck. We play 4 draws. You do need that draw power. We do play 2 stands in this deck, 2 different ones to make the opponent think we're running more than we actually are. Stands work well in this deck because, well, I'll show you that. We'll show the combo play later. Because each machining gets plus 3K if you have another machining in soul. So if you call out the grade 2, which is a 9K, is a 12K, you get a stand and a boost. That's a 17K stand by itself if there's no booster behind it. And we do run the 4 heal triggers. Sorry about any glare. To the grade runs, we are running 4 copies of Paralyzed Madonna. Perfect guards, you need to run 4 perfect guards in today's meta just because of all the heavy hitters out there like Dote and everything else. Machining mosquitoes, we do run 4 of those. We do run a lot of machining in this deck. It is a machining deck. What's good about this is your preferred ride. When you do ride, you want to ride this at grade 1. Basically, when you ride him, you can when he's placed on Vanguard or rear guard, you can soul charge 1. You do want to soul charge as many machining cards in your soul as possible, so you can do combo plays with your grade 3, which we'll go into soon. Next, we do run 4 copies of Machining Hornet. Whenever he's placed on Vanguard rear guard, if you're machining in your soul, you get plus 3K. He's your second best ride, so you prefer to ride him, but you can ride him as well. Next, we do run 2 copies of Phantom Black. He's our 8K booster, just for beat power. To our grade 2s, we do run 4 copies of Machining Mantis. Same effect as Machining Hornet. He's a 9K when he's placed on Vanguard or rear guard. He gets plus 3K, 3K if there's any other machinings in soul. Next, we do run 3 copies of Bloody Hercules. 4 copies, sorry. 10K beater. Not much to say there. Next, we do run 3 copies of Water Gang. Water Gangs are 9K. Basically, you're not doing much counterblasting in this deck. When he hits, you can counterblast 2 and draw cards. It's a good, pretty good. You can get extra cards in your hand as well. To our grade 3s, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of Machining Stag Beetle. If you don't know what his effect is, basically, when his unit is placed on Vanguard, just 2 Megacolonies with a machining card with machining and its name from your soul column to separate rear guards as rested, and increase this unit's power by the sum of the original power of the units called with this effect until the end of turn. This is why we run our machining worker ant. Basically, you would you'd call out any other machine you had. If you did get the full chain, you call out a grade 2, and then he would come out as rested, and then you could call him out, and then it would stand the rested one, and then he'd get plus bonus depending on how many more machines you had in your soul. We'll go to some combo plays in a second. And last grade 3 run, we do run 4 martial arts mutant master beetle. Basically, you can ride on top of Machining Stag Beetle after you use this effect, or I'd even suggest riding on top of itself again. That way you can get even more power and retire. But this is not a bad ride. If you haven't used any of your counterblast from Water Gang, you could always ride him and use his effect. His is limit break 4. When this counterblast 3, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 of your opponent's rear guards, and those units cannot stand your opponent's next phase. Best bet would be booster behind the Vanguard and something else they had. If they had a small hand, this would be a pretty devastating effect to them. Let's go into some combo plays. Let me pull some of these cards out real quick. Go with these stands. Okay. Alright. So like I said, our starter is that's a machining worker ant. Basically why he's good, say if I did hit the full ride chain of the Machining Stag Beetle, as soon as I ride, I get to call 2 out of soul, up to 2. So my first bet would be take, if I had an open field, I could take a grade 2, like that, and then take him out and put him behind Vanguard if Vanguard didn't have a booster, because he isn't behind him. Because he stays in soul till you call him out. Call him out. This guy stands. I still have machinings in soul, so he's getting plus 3k right here. And then this guy is getting plus 9k, plus 5k. So you're looking at 24k right here with no booster, and that's why you can easily put him behind him and you can retire him next turn if you don't need him, or if you want to stand him next, he's still a 5k booster. While I want to say it's good to have Machining Mosquito for your main ride. Say if you ride him, and then you do end up soul charging, you get to soul charge. If you do end up soul charging another machining, say my first soul charge, or if you can call him rear guard, the more machinings in soul, the better. Anytime you call him to a Vanguard or rear guard, you can soul charge one. Soul charging machinings even better. It gives you a chance to ride over Stag Beetle again. Say if I did that, and this is what I had next. Even if I had almost a full field, let's see what we can get here. Here. Let's say we already used the effect once. I want to ride over top of him again. Let's see what can I do here. I mean, if I didn't have a full field, even if I had this. So I could ride on top of him again, call him out as rested. He's getting plus 10k, so you wouldn't have to ride over him with your other grade 3 and lose a card from hand. And then you can even, since he's rested, you can retire, call another one out. And then that's 17k is going to be a 27k attacker, and if you had another card in hand, you can just retire him again and then ride over top of him. You're not losing cards from your hand, but you're just losing cards from soul, which you don't need anyway, and you can power him up and make him a heavy beater. You don't even have to end up riding Mutant Master Beetle. Alright guys, that is the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed it. This deck is not that expensive to make. The only cards that cost money would say, I mean, even the perfect guards are only around, at the time of making this video, they're like $5 or $6. You can probably make this deck for probably pretty cheap. It's mostly just commons and rares, and these are like $4 a piece, and these are about, I want to say, like 2 or 3 a piece. So it's a pretty cheap deck, pretty fun deck and competitive. It's heavy aggro. If you enjoy just going all out and just like knocking people out for turn, this is good. If you hit critical, it's even better. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.